let's get these 335s out of the way here. Okay. So I've got the fuel tank back up underneath the car, and I cut my original fuel line off. I moved my filter, my Aeromotive fuel injection is the small filter, to the front here. I'm tucking it underneath this sheet metal, and I'll be using a clamp to hold it up tight. Got a fitting now to go from this dash 10 here, crank it over to the side of the frame rail, up next to the floor of the trunk, then over to my pickup, but I'm not sure if I got the right fitting here. This one here looks like it's made for Teflon hose. So let's see if this thing fits or not. Let's see if I can get some dash 10. Here's some dash 10 line here. Here we go. First try fitting it. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, crap. No. No go. Okay, so this isn't going to work. I got to get another 90 degree. So this thing is going to be delayed again for a few more days till I get this thing in off the internet. Bummers. 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 Alright, so I got my new fitting in today, and this one will work for my Dash 10 AN hose. You can see it has a nice smooth tapered finish to it that will slide into the hose completely. The old one that I had has this little, I don't know what you call it, kind of like a double tube piece. These are designed for Teflon lined hoses, and although Teflon lined hoses work very well for fuel systems, especially since they don't allow the fuel vapors to leak out and smell up your garage, I don't have Teflon lined fuel, so I'm just gonna stick this away. Here's a special shout out to my eBay retailer Speed Daddy. He refunded the money for this wrong one that he sent me. I tried to get a UPS label to send it back to him, but he would have nothing of it. So if you're on eBay trying to find AN fittings, definitely check out Speed Daddy, and he'll make sure you get the right pieces. So there you go. Alright, so we're putting together these AN fittings. This is a Dash 10 AN hose I got from Jigs, and this is Speed Daddy's new fitting that he sent me. And I've got this hose taped. That doesn't always make it easy. Stretch up the anodization. These hoses can be a pain in the ass to assemble sometimes. There we go. That's looking pretty flush with the shoulder. So I'm just going to wrap that little piece of tape around here, tape around my fittings, lube it, and then we'll put this thing together. Alright, so this may horrify some of you guys, but here I go. I've got my female fitting clamped up in my vise. I've got some painter's tape around the aluminum, and I wrapped some painter's tape right next to the aluminum on the stainless hose itself. That way when I insert the fitting, if this hose tries to pull out, I will know it because you'll see a gap in here. So you'll keep an eye on that. Need a little shot of spray lube to keep things moving well. And nice and easy. Okay, now They do make special Allen wrenches for these things. I don't use those. Alright, here we go. And we're going to slowly crank this fitting down. Nice and easy. Gotta keep an eye on the side here. Make sure our hose doesn't get pushed out. And don't forget the spray loop. I tell you, the spray loop makes so much difference when assembling these fittings. If you're going to use an Allen wrench and you don't use the spray lube, you will probably break your Allen wrench. Okay, I got to put down the camera so I can finish this. Alright, so there we have it. If you look here, my tape is still next to the fitting, so the hose has not gotten pushed out at all. And a little scuff on the painter's tape, but let's see how it fares. Alright, so there we have finished installed Allen fitting. That looks pretty good there. Not too shabby. A little scuffed here on the edges. Kind of hard to show that on the video. So like I said, it's not bad. Alright, so with my 90-degree Allen fitting installed on one side of my hose, I'm going to get back here. Alright, so with my 90-degree Allen fitting installed on my dash 10 hose, I'm going to get my little Y adapter. This is a dash 8 to a dash 10. Go ahead and throw that in there. I'm running dash 8 for my two pumps, my two Walbros. So I'm going to take a couple of my fittings and slide those on there so I can kind of gauge distances. Should have lined up tight. Jegs. These are Jegs fittings. Alright. So this is going to slide right in here somehow. I'll need a clamp to hold that. I'll go ahead and measure and cut down here so I can finish my 10 line. And then I'll cut my 8 line. Alright. I don't know if you can see me down here, but I am under the car and I am using some of that painter's tape to mark where I need to trim my pressure and return fuel lines. Almost. Longer than the left. Not a problem. So let's go ahead and chop this hose real quick. I like to use a just a little cutoff wheel. And my tape is equidistant on either side of where I want to cut. and you saw that I like to rotate my hose so that the blade is always cutting inward on the stainless braid. If you cut all the way through, then sometimes I find that the wires on the far side get pushed out too far. And then of course what I'm doing, I just kind of spin it around, kind of cleaning it up a little bit, but that's the result, nice and clean. So let's install our new 8AN fitting. Here's my 8AN fitting again. I've got the tape on the hose, tape on the fitting, on the female fitting. On the straight swivel, I double taped it because you've only got just a small section of aluminum with which to grab with your wrench. So I tend to booger these up a little bit more using my crescent wrenches. So I double taped it. Squirt these things with a good amount of lube and install. Okay, there it is. I just boogered it up a little bit. My wrench was positioned a little bit too high on the fitting and it slipped off the threaded portion and the swivel rotated and I scratched it right there. So try to keep your wrench as low as possible. You gotta be careful not to scratch up your anodization on that lower fitting though. Go slow, be careful. Yeah, see, there you go. There you can see how I got nicked it right there with my wrench when this thing spun on me. Alright, and here's number 2. Wrench did not slip on this one. That's pretty nice. So, my hoses are made up, and I am tightening these fittings. That's good. Now, because once I get this thing in the tank, I don't have access to these things, so they have to be tightened beforehand. But it's no different than, fitting a little sensor on your fuel tank level sender. Alright, now back into the car. Alright, jack always makes this a little easier, unless you got a friend helping you. Can't forget the fuel tank cinder wire. You'll be hating yourself later. Okay, got the driver's side started. Gets a little tougher with all those fittings up in there because they're kind of interfering with the bottom of the trunk. It's a tight fit. Got it. All right. Well, it's time. I've been putting this off as long as I can. I need to get this car inspected so I can get it registered. This guy fires up. Don't even touch the gas pedal. So let's see if we can get this thing to the gas station. Get some gasoline. There's my AFR meter over here flashing around. And let's get this thing legal. Alright, so the car passed. It needed a tail light, but the other one was working. High beams aren't doing so well, and the guy didn't even drive it. That's the beauty of having a show car, I guess. So now it's time to tune this thing. Let's get it on the highway and see how it does.